The Brisbane heat pressed down like a wet blanket as Sarah waddled through the automatic doors of the maternity wing, one hand braced under her enormous belly, the other clutching Jake's sweaty palm. 39 weeks and 4 days, any minute now their little girl would make her entrance. Sarah's back ached in vicious waves, but what really made her stomach twist wasn't the contractions. It was the sound of Bev's thongs slapping the linoleum behind them, each step louder than the last, and the way her mother-in-law kept barking instructions. Push the trolley straighter, Jakey, don't let it wobble, she'll feel every bump. Bev snapped, wheeling the overnight bag like she was leading a military parade. And Sarah, love, breathe through your nose, not your mouth. You'll hyperventilate and scare the baby. Sarah forced a tight smile, teeth gritted. She'd spent the last 8 months swallowing comments like these, Bev rearranging the nursery twice because pink is too common these days, Bev insisting on being in the delivery room, to make sure they do it properly, Bev texting Jake at 2 a.m. to complain that Sarah wasn't eating enough red meat for the iron. Jake never pushed back. He just nodded, patted Sarah's knee, and said, "Mum's only trying to help, babe." They reached the admissions desk. The midwife glanced up, took one look at the trio, then tapped her keyboard. "Sarah Mitchell, you're booked for Dr. Ellis. Is just finishing a consult, won't be long." She eyed Bev and Jake. "Partners and support people can wait in the family room until we call you through." Bev's chin shot up. "I'm not support people. I'm the grandmother. We're all going in together." The midwife's smile didn't waver. "Hospital policy, ma'am. One birth partner only during active labor. We'll fetch you when it's time." Jake shifted uncomfortably. "Mum, maybe just wait." "Nonsense," Bev cut in, voice rising. "I've delivered 3 of my own without all this palaver. Sarah needs me there holding her hand." Sarah felt the next contraction building, a deep, grinding pressure that stole her breath. She gripped the counter, knuckles white. All she wanted was quiet, calm, her own space to bring their daughter into the world. Instead she had Bev's perfume choking the air and Jake looking between them like a kid caught in crossfire. Then Dr. Ellis strode around the corner, tall, salt and pepper hair, sleeves rolled to the elbows, the kind of calm that came from delivering hundreds of babies. He scanned the group, eyes narrowing slightly when they landed on Bev, who was already opening her mouth to argue again. He held up a hand. "Mrs. Mitchell," he said to Sarah, voice low and steady. She nodded, tears pricking because someone finally spoke to her, not over her. "Good. Let's get you settled." He turned to Jake and Bev, expression hardening just enough to make the hallway feel smaller. "You two, sorry, but you're not coming through those doors." "Not today." Bev sucked in a breath like she'd been slapped. "Excuse me." Dr. Ellis didn't flinch. "I've heard enough already from the prenatal visits. After the baby's born, we'll have a quick word out the back. I'll explain exactly why." His gaze flicked to Sarah, softening. "You focus on you and your girl now. We've got you." He placed a gentle hand on Sarah's elbow and guided her toward the corridor. Behind them, Bev's voice rose in outrage. "This is outrageous. Family has rights," but the double doors swung shut, muffling the noise. For the first time in months, Sarah felt a sliver of space to breathe. The doors clanged shut behind Sarah, sealing off Bev's indignant shouts like flipping a switch on a radio. The corridor smelled of antiseptic and fresh coffee from the staff room. 2 midwives flanked her, one wheeling the bed, the other murmuring, "You're doing great, Sarah. Let's get you into the birthing suite, nice and quiet in there." Quiet. The word felt like a luxury. Sarah exhaled shakily as they helped her onto the bed. Monitors beeped softly, a cool cloth pressed to her forehead. "Drive." Ellis appeared again, checking the trace of the baby's heartbeat. "Strong and steady," he said. "You're in transition already, things are moving fast. Who's your support person?" Sarah swallowed. "Just me for now. Jake can come later if I need him." She didn't add what she really thought, that Jake's presence lately felt more like obligation than comfort. Outside in the waiting area, the storm brewed. Jake paced the linoleum, phone pressed to his ear, voice low but urgent. "Yeah, Mum's losing it. They won't even let us see her till after. Some doctor bloke said no." He glanced at Bev, who sat ramrod straight on a plastic chair, arms crossed, lips a thin line. Bev wasn't sitting still for long. She stood abruptly, heels clicking as she marched to the double doors and pushed. "Locked." She rattled the handle. "This is ridiculous. Open up. My daughter-in-law is in labor and we have every right." A security guard materialized from around the corner, polite but firm. "Ma'am, please step back. Delivery suite is restricted. You'll be called when the baby's here." Bev spun on him. Restricted. From family. I've raised 3 children, young man. I know what labor looks like. She's probably panicking in there without proper guidance. Jake tugged her sleeve. Mum, sit down. Yelling won't help. Don't you, Mum, me, she hissed. You let this happen. You let the doctor talk to us like we're criminals. And Sarah's the one who put ideas in your head about boundaries. Boundaries. After everything I've done. Inside the suite, Sarah gripped the bed rails as another contraction ripped through her. The midwife coached her breathing, but Sarah's mind kept drifting to the hallway, noise filtering through in muffled bursts, Bev's voice rising, Jake's placating murmurs. She pictured him bursting in any second, Bev elbowing nurses aside, declaring, "Move, I'll show you how it's done." The thought made her chest tighten worse than any labor pain. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "Will they try to come in?" she whispered. The midwife squeezed her hand. "Not a chance. Drive." Ellis gave strict instructions. "Doors staying shut till baby's born and you're ready. You're safe here." Sarah nodded, but doubt gnawed. 8 months of Bev's help, unsolicited advice turning into demands, Jake always siding with silence. What if this birth was just the start of a lifetime tug of war over their daughter? The next contraction hit harder. She cried out, half pain, half fear. Had she married into a family that would never let her breathe? In the corridor, Bev had her phone out now, filming the locked doors. "I'm documenting this," she announced to no one in particular. Medical staff denying a grandmother access, disgraceful. Jake rubbed his temples, looking smaller by the minute. The tension stretched taut, ready to snap. Sarah pushed through another wave, whispering to her unborn girl, "Just you and me, little one. Just us." The birthing suite felt like another world. Dim lights, the steady beep of the fetal monitor, the midwife's calm voice counting breaths. Sarah was on all fours now, forehead pressed to the cool bed rail, sweat dripping onto the sheet. Each contraction built like a freight train, longer, fiercer, no break between them anymore. She rocked instinctively, trying to ride the pain instead of fight it. "Almost there, Sarah," the midwife said, checking progress. "Baby's head is right there. One more big push when it hits." Sarah nodded, teeth clenched. But her mind wasn't just on the baby. Every muffled shout from the corridor sliced through her focus, Bev's voice rising in pitch, Jake's lower rumble trying to soothe her. She pictured them out there, Bev pacing, arms waving, probably telling anyone who'd listen that this hospital is discriminating against grandmothers, Jake standing helplessly beside her, scrolling his phone for moral support from his brothers. Another contraction slammed her. Sarah cried out, louder this time, the sound raw. Tears burned her eyes. I can't do this with them waiting to take over," she gasped between breaths. "She'll never be just ours." The midwife knelt beside her, voice gentle but firm. "Listen to me. That door is locked, security's on standby, and Dr. Ellis has made it crystal clear, no one comes in until you say so. This moment belongs to you and your daughter. No one else gets a vote right now." Sarah drew a shuddering breath. The words landed like cool water on fevered skin. She thought of the quiet nights she'd spent alone in the spare room, writing letters she never sent, to her own mum who'd passed too soon, to the version of herself who'd once believed love meant never saying no. She'd let Bev bulldoze boundaries because Jake wouldn't stand up, because saying enough felt like starting a war. But this war had already started the day Bev demanded to choose the baby's middle name. The urge to push came hard and fast. Sarah bore down with everything she had, a guttural sound tearing from her throat. The midwife guided, encouraged. "Heads out, good girl, one more." In the corridor, the noise peaked. Bev had escalated to banging on the door. "Sarah, Jakey, do something. She needs me in there." Jake's voice cracked. "Mum, stop, they'll call security." Bev rounded on him. "You're as useless as your father was. Always letting women walk all over you." Sarah heard none of it. She pushed one final time, body shaking, mind narrowed to a single point. Then came the slippery rush, the relief, and the most beautiful sound in the world, Mia's first cry, thin and furious and perfect. The midwife lifted the tiny, wriggling girl onto Sarah's chest. Warm, wet, alive. Sarah sobbed, laughing through tears, pressing kisses to the downy head. "Hi, baby girl. Hi, Mia." For the first time in months, the weight on her chest wasn't dread. It was love, fierce and unshareable. Outside, silence fell. The banging stopped. "Drive." Ellis appeared in the corridor, expression unreadable. "Baby's here. Healthy. Mum's doing well." He looked straight at Bev. "Now, backyard. We need to talk." Bev opened her mouth to argue, but something in his tone made her close it again. Jake swallowed hard. The storm was about to break, and this time, Sarah wasn't the one getting soaked. The midwife wrapped Mia in a soft white blanket and placed her back on Sarah's chest. The baby's tiny fist curled against her skin, warm and impossibly real. Sarah stared down, memorizing every feature: the scrunched nose, the dark fuzz of hair, the way Mia's eyes blinked slowly against the low light. For a perfect, suspended minute, the world shrank to just the two of them. No Bev, no Jake, no hospital corridor drama. Just this small, fierce life she'd carried alone through months of quiet battles. Drive. Ellis slipped back into the suite long enough to check them both. You did brilliantly, he said, voice soft. Rest a bit. I'll handle the rest. He gave Sarah a small nod, almost conspiratorial, then stepped out again. In the backyard, a patch of shaded grass behind the maternity block, the air was thick with evening humidity. Jake stood rigid, hands shoved deep in his pockets. Bev paced in tight circles, arms folded, face flushed. A security guard lingered near the gate, arms crossed. Drive. Ellis arrived last, closing the wooden door behind him with a deliberate click. Right, he began, calm as if discussing the weather. I've spoken to Sarah. She's asked me to deliver a few things clearly. Bev snorted. She's hormonal. She doesn't know what she's saying. Drive. Ellis ignored her, pulling out his phone. He tapped the screen and turned it so they could see. Grainy footage from the prenatal clinic waiting room. Bev leaning over Sarah, voice sharp even through the tinny audio. You're not naming her after your side, love. It's tradition. Another clip, text messages Sarah had screenshot and forwarded weeks ago. Bev's words in black and white: if you don't let me in the delivery room, don't expect me to babysit. Jake's replies: thumbs up emojis, nothing more. Jake's face drained of color. Mum, you sent those. Bev's mouth worked soundlessly for a second. I was protecting the family. Drive. Ellis continued. Sarah's already lodged a formal complaint with hospital admin. She's requested no visitors for at least 48 hours. And she's spoken to a solicitor this afternoon, while you were both out here banging on doors. Divorce papers are being drawn up. She wants sole custody, supervised access only until Jake attends court-mandated parenting classes. Bev exploded. This is outrageous. You can't keep a grandmother from her own blood. The doctor's voice stayed level. I'm not keeping anyone from anything. Sarah is. And she's got every legal right. Police have been informed of the harassment, you're filming, the threats to staff. They're outside if you'd like to continue this conversation with them. Jake finally spoke, voice cracking. Sarah, she really said that. Drive. Ellis met his eyes. She said she's done being the buffer. Done pretending this is normal. She wants peace for her daughter. And she's taking it. Bev lunged forward, finger jabbing. You've poisoned her against us. The security guard stepped in. Ma'am, time to leave the premises. Jake didn't move to stop her. He just stood there, staring at the grass like it might swallow him. Bev's tirade continued as the guard escorted her toward the car park, words fading into furious echoes. Inside, Sarah rocked Mia gently, humming a lullaby her own mother used to sing. The baby's breathing steadied, tiny chest rising and falling. Sarah pressed her lips to the soft forehead. You're safe, little one, she whispered. And we're free. For the first time in years, the weight was gone. Not just the baby weight, the heavier one. The one that came with always saying yes, always apologizing, always shrinking. She looked toward the window, toward the darkening sky, and smiled. Tomorrow she'd start again, just her and Mia, on their own terms.